sheet is something you want to do immediately, because if I go up, I can now see how many RMUs I have to work with. And it's kind of weird because it's going to show in the February, all right, because that's what I started January with. This is what I would start February with if I did no conversions and no FIU sales. So I've got 12 agriculture RMUs. We need to think about our conversions for a second. And if you go into the price info sheet, it'll show you how many RMUs are required per conversion. So my agriculture, regardless of standard or auto, single or pairs, takes 3 RMUs. And I have 12. So we can just do a quick calculation, right? What is 12 divided by 3? It's going to be 4 conversions. Got to make sure that I have enough factories to do that. So standard factories have a capacity of 2 conversions. I only have standard factories and I have 2 of them. And if each of those 2 factories can do 2 conversions, I'm able to do 4 conversions. So when the conversion sheet opens up, I'm going to submit a form for 4 standard factory conversions. Just my maximum capacity, I'm 100% efficiency. It also means that I used up all of my RMUs for this month. So if I wanted to do any more agriculture conversions the next month, I would need to buy some more in the bidding. All right, so that now means I have 4 FIUs of agriculture, no RMUs. All right, maybe I also buy one of these advertisements. We'll get to that in a second. We'll do a second set of conversions for these 7 commerce. All right, so in commerce, a couple of things. I only have 2 standard commerce factories. And on the price info sheet, it tells me that a commerce single standard factory can only do 1 conversion. Oh, we're running into a problem. 1 conversion, and we need to use 2 RMUs for it. So I can only do 2 conversions because I have 2 of these factories with a capacity of 1. And I'm going to use up 2 times 2 is 4 of my RMUs in doing so. So we'll submit that form as well. You can do it at the same time or separately. So 2 standard RMUs, and that's going to adjust. So I now have 3 leftover commerce RMUs. So already running into problems with my commerce. Maybe I bought too much, or maybe I didn't buy enough factories. That's why it's really important in your pre-start plan to kind of, right, come up with this game plan for how much capacity your factories are going to have, how many conversions you're going to be able to do. A lot of math and strategizing in that pre-start plan, which I apparently didn't do a great job of here. Better luck next time. All right, so I did 2, and I need to actually figure out what that costs. All right, and that's on the price info sheet. So I did 4 of these at 2,000. So I could actually just do the math here again. Equals 4 times 2,000. Or you can use your calculator. So that's going to be $8,000. Update my summary sheet. And 2 through my commerce factory. And that's going to be 3,500 per conversion. So 2 times 3,500. 7,000. Update the summary sheet with that cost. All right, these are all things that you need to be doing on the fly during the simulation. So as soon as you submit your bid, go into your price info sheet, find out how much that costs, because that's going to update your cash up in the top here, which will allow us to kind of budget appropriately, figure out how much construction we're going to be able to do. And if you're forgetting to enter these, your budgeting is going to be a bit harder to do. You're probably going to go into debt, into the red. All right, I want to explain the advertisements now. All right, when you submit a form, so I could have submitted both of these on one or one on each form. I'm going to say I did these in 2 separate forms, and I bought 2 separate ads for WebNet. Right, so that's going to allow me to get some ad boosts when I sell them, but it's also going to cost me money, and I need to look at the price info sheet to see how much that costs. here are my costs. So I bought 2 web nets. I have no auto right now, but I do have 4 standard factories. So I need to pay $650 equals 650 times. Well, I got 4 factories. All right. But I also bought 2 ads. So it's going to be charged per every factory, regardless of the type, regardless of what conversion form I sent it on. This is always every single standard factory in your possession and every single auto factory in your possession. All right. So if I would have had more, if I had an auto, I would also have to add that cost in. But right now it's costing me $2,600 per ad, but I bought 2 of them. So it actually adds up to $5,200. 5,200. And these costs of ads are going to be there regardless of whether we actually sell, regardless of how much we sell. So if you're using ads wisely, they're going to help you. But if you're buying them and not using them, it's actually going to be to your own detriment. And you got to watch out for some months where your ads don't succeed, when the consumers don't love your ad campaign and that actually ends up in debt. All right. That's my advertisements. I now need to record this all on my ledger. So I did my RMU bids. Now I need to go and enter some conversions. So still in January, I can copy and paste that. But now we are doing our conversions. Cost of conversion. And still in January, so I'll call it 01. Actually, let's call this egg conversion. Yes. All right. What happens first when I do my conversion? Well, first thing, I'm going to lose my RMUs. All right. And in my case, I'm starting with my agriculture. I lost my full 12 commerce RMUs. So I would need to credit, which is how I get rid of my assets, how my assets go down, credit, and I'm getting rid of 12 of them to make 4 FIUs. So this is going to be 12 times their book value. Always use your book value of $300 when you're doing anything in these RMU accounts starting with a 1. That's reserved for our book value. All right, so I got rid of 12 of these. That was 3,600 book value worth of RMUs. What happened to it? Well, it actually became our FIUs of agriculture, and it became 4 of them. So I got 4, so it's equal to 4 times, well, we go back to the price info sheet if we forgot, it's our book cost, $500. So 4 times 500 gives me $2,000 gained in FIUs. And that's not balanced. All right. And because that's not balanced, and that's kind of the end of that transaction, all right, that debit credit pair, I need to add a third line for my, is this a gain or a loss? Well, I gave up more value, book value, than I gained my FIUs. So this is actually a loss, an additional accumulated loss. And we're debiting it because my net value went down. And the amount is shown here, or you can do your subtraction, $1,600. So we're still balanced, but we're not quite done, because not only are we getting rid of our RMUs and gaining FIUs, we actually have to pay the factory to do this for us. And that cost us $8,000 this time to do these 4 standard conversions. So this is part of my COGS, and it's my conversions, cost of goods for conversions. And I have to have $8,000. It was, right? Yeah, $8,000 given to me, since this account starts with a 2, as a bill. So $8,000 bill for my conversions. All right. Again, if you're not confident in the debit credit, have this out in front of you and ask yourself, do I increase my equity when I lose this book value, or do I actually decrease my net worth? and debit it. So I have to debit. Oh, sorry, that liability goes up. It's a bill I have to pay. So I credit it. So my COGS gets credited. That bill increases. I add a bill to the factory. All right. As that bill goes up, I get another loss. You'll notice that really at the start of the month, we got a bunch of losses. But don't worry, right around the corner, we're going to have a gain. So additional accumulated loss of 8,000. So my net worth went down by 8,000. My equity is debited. All right, then we pay our bill. So anytime you're using a COGS or something that starts with a 2, you're going to get a bill, you're going to credit it, and then you're going to get rid of some cash. And you're going to pay that full bill, that full $8,000, so that my cost of goods for conversions now disappears. It's paid off. And we're still balanced. All right, one thing to keep your eye on anytime you're doing conversions is you want to have 7 lines. All right, your RMUs turn to FIUs, you get a loss, you get a bill, you lose more, you pay the bill, and your bill goes away. 7 lines for every conversion. All right, I didn't just have agriculture, I also had commerce, but we can use copy and paste to our benefit. Remember, we want 7 lines, and we're going to call these our commerce conversions in January. And we can just use our copy and paste for this whole section. Our numbers will change slightly, but they're going to kind of follow the same pattern. Credit, debit, debit, credit, debit, credit, debit. So, maybe copy and paste wasn't the best because these aren't agriculture. These are my commerce. Oops. Commerce RMUs go down. Commerce FIUs go up. Quick fix. All right, so how many RMUs did I get rid of? Well, for 2 conversions that use 2 each, I got rid of 4. So my RMUs go away. 4 times 300, $1,200, right? Each RMU is worth 300, and I had 4 of them. How many FIUs did I gain? I gained 2 of them. And if you go back to your price info sheet, their book value is 500. Bit closer. All right, a bit less of a gap, but I still have to have $200 in loss. All right, and then I do my cost of goods conversion, $7,000 for this friend. So COGS go up. I get a bill for $7,000. Credit my liability. That is a loss. My net worth goes down by the full amount, $7,000. My equity is debited. Then I pay the bill. So I get rid of cash by crediting that asset account, and my bill goes away by debiting the liability account. And we're done our conversions. But we're not done all of our spending because we also bought ads. That's a quick little addition here. January, we got ads. Going to be 4 lines. I'm going to get a bill and pay a bill. It's pretty much the same for any liability other than conversions. I'm going to get a bill and pay a bill. So this is going to be my advertisements in January. Advertisements 01. January 01. February 02. So advertisements, I get a bill. That's, you can search up on this. You could look for your advertisements or your cost of goods. All right, and it cost me $5,200. So I gain a bill and I take a loss. So I need to go into my loss category, 5,200. And then I pay the bill. So my cash goes down, 5,200. And my bill goes away. So my advertisement bill from those people in marketing is now debited in full, and I am back to balanced. So really, what we've got in our advertisement, this cost of goods, is the same as this latter half of my conversions, right? It's a account starting with 2. You get a bill, take the loss, pay the bill, bill goes away. Same thing for your advertisements, same thing for your other conversions, right? Same thing actually for your RMUs, with the exception that in an RMU, you actually gain something. You gain the raw materials. All right, January's almost done. Not quite though. We have to now sell our FIUs. So I hopefully in the bidding, I submitted a form for a pretty solid price and got a pretty decent ad boost.